Greetings, YouTubers. This is my 1928 Atwater Kent Model 52. Known as the stove model, it kind of resembles an old wood stove. It's a unique radio in that it has an all-metal cabinet and is basically the Atwater Kent Model 40 chassis in a console, or actually a mini console cabinet. This was the same radio that would take the E-speaker on top if it was the table model. This has an E-speaker mounted inside, and it doesn't have the fancy grill that the E-speaker had, but it has a sort of a wire mesh covering it up. And picked this radio up about 2 weeks ago and just finished restoring it this morning. And it needed a paint job, obviously. I know some of these were supposedly a brownish color. This one happened to be sort of a battleship gray. There wasn't any brown on it. And I didn't think it was a real great color to bring out the brass fittings and things and brass trim, so I painted it sort of an off black, kind of a flat black, and I think it takes on more of the look of an old wood stove. And you can see I painted the inlay on top of the cover, and got some new brass screws to hold the speaker in. And it also has an exact reproduction cloth cord with the original plug end on it. This is one of the very first radios that wasn't a battery set. Atwater Kent, I think 6 months prior, released their first radio that wasn't a battery set, that could use a line current on it. So this is quite early and quite rare. I spun it around so you can see the back side with the nice brass Atwater Kent emblem, which was in nice shape, and you can't really see it, but you can kind of see the speaker a little bit through the back. When I got this set, the back grill was held on by wire ties from a bag of bread. The wire sticking out the back is the antenna wire. Needs a very long antenna to get a good signal on these. And here's the chassis inside. You can see I have the antenna lead going behind the power transformer. And this is actually a Model 40 chassis, which was identical to the Model 52. At some point in time this chassis was replaced. They had an actual Model 52 chassis. But it's the same thing, and the main thing is it works. And I will demonstrate that next. Okay, here's the dial, and we'll flip the switch. This radio actually only goes from up to 1,000 on the dial.
John, how are you today?
Hi, Lynn.
I have a question regarding Hill's prescription CD dog food diet.
Okay.
This is AM 620 out of Milwaukee, WTMJ. And like I say, you can only go up to 1,000 on the dial. So it's very limited as far as stations I can get in this area. It's about the only one that'll come in real strong. And actually, if I grab hold of the antenna lead, I can make it a whole lot louder. Let me reposition myself.
Female.
Female?
Female. And did she have recurrent bladder issues or blood in her urine?
She did have blood in her urine. She was diagnosed with a bladder infection, and concurrently
Had the crystals.
Yeah, she had the 3+ struvite crystals,
Okay.
and then a repeat exam with a sterile sample.
And that's how it quiets down after I let go of the lead. But turn the volume down a little bit.
And how long ago?
This is actually a fine adjustment knob. And if you push the knob in, there's a little rubber washer behind it, and you can fine-tune the radio into the station.
Days, weeks, months?
And of course, you have your regular knob to tune it. That's just a volume control and on-off switch. So really, quite a simple radio as far as controls go. It's one step up from the old sets that had 3 dials. You'd have to tune in 3 different variable capacitors to get the station in. But as the oldest radio in my collection, I'd always wanted to have an old Atwater Kent, and I'm very glad I have this one. So I thank you for watching, and this is Greg.